All right, so I just want to quickly pop in here and say that this video was largely inspired by a lot of my followers and my viewers noticing that I use the Moleskine notebook, but also experiencing not so great things with the paper quality if you are especially a fountain pen lover or a gel ink lover. So I will say that yes, Moleskine notebooks are not the best quality in terms of their paper if you enjoy gel inks, if you enjoy heavier, darker markers, or especially if you enjoy the craft of writing with fountain pen inks. I want to preface this by saying that when I fell in love with the Moleskine, specifically the expanded version, which is the notebook that has 400 pages, okay, I was not a fountain pen user. I didn't own a fountain pen. I was not even aware of the poor paper quality. I was ballpoint girl all the way. Ballpoints and roller ball pens. So the ones that I still use to this day and that I truly, thoroughly enjoy using, especially with art journaling and just writing and carrying with me as an EDC or as an everyday carry, the Bic, okay? The champion, I feel like here in here in at least the United States, the Bic is like the tried and true. Like you can find this pretty much anywhere and everywhere. So I like specifically the 1.6 millimeter. The Bic ballpoint is what I enjoy using with my Moleskine, and I still enjoy now with other notebooks. This is just another Bic, the Bic Pro, which unfortunately they no longer make, but I changed out the barrel with the 1.6. And then rollerball, I like the Pilot Acro. Okay, the Pilot Acro, it performs more like a rollerball with my my experience, and this works well with the Moleskine paper or thin paper just in general. Okay, and then thinner brands of paper, and then Sarasa. Surprisingly, this Sarasa gel ink, it works well with Moleskine. And then this little gem that I've discovered at the Dollar Tree, this, I think the brand was called Journaling ink, the Magna. I showed this in my top favorite pens video that I did a few days ago, but I love this pen, okay, with my Moleskine and just in general as everyday use. Now, like I said, before I get any hate for using Moleskines, okay, I will say that this notebook, when I started using the expanded version, it was new. Like 7 years ago, Moleskine created this expanded version that offers 400 pages. Oh my gosh, that was perfect for me as a daily writer and as a journaler. I go through a lot of notebooks. So, and the thing about me, I'm a creature of habit. I don't like to change out things if they work well for me. That goes for my handbags. That goes for my favorite pair of shoes. That goes for my pair of jeans. Like if something works for me, I just keep using it until it doesn't work for me anymore. Until I'm forced to find something else. So until Moleskine goes out of business, I'm probably still going to use these because I want to specify here, because I have had some luck finding the expanded version. I'm not talking about their classic, okay? The classic version has 192 pages. This expanded has 400 pages. So I have found really good deals through retailers on Amazon, and I have never paid full price for these expanded versions. Now, today, as of this date, Moleskine is retailing this for $37. And I know value is subjective. So in my experience, now that I am exposed to other notebooks that are better that I'm going to share with you, which I will timestamp down below, do I think it's worth $37? For me personally, knowing what else is out there in the market, if I were the marketing team, no, I would not price point these at $37. But I will say that the value I still get out of this is priceless, because I do enjoy the experience of having the blank page. I still enjoy the cream color. Okay, that's one thing about, let me find a blank page. The thing about like Moleskine, like they have like this beautiful cream color that I like. I like this soft leatherette. Okay, this soft leatherette cover that they do, and this elastic closure, the rounded corners. Okay, I really like the rounded corners here. And then, and they also offer like the back pocket, which isn't like a deal breaker for me, but it's just a nice little touch. So I have been on the hunt, to see if there are other brands that offer similarities, 400 pages, or at least 300 plus pages, cream color, that offer not only a lined, a dot grid, but also a blank version, okay, which is really, really hard to find. Notebooks that have blank pages, because I want my notebook to be versatile. If I want to draw, if I want to sketch, I don't want those distracting lines or grids to be in the way, at least for my ADHD mind. So that is the main reason why, I have found myself really enjoying the Moleskine notebook. So I'm going to quickly share with you my other favorite notebooks that I would highly and strongly recommend, especially if you are a journaler, if you are writing, if you enjoy the craft of writing, and especially if you enjoy the experience of using fountain pen inks, and if you like to use darker markers, maybe watercolor, gouache, acrylic, and then just gel inks. Okay, because yes, there are definitely better brands that have better paper quality for these type of mediums. So, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to circle back around and explain why I think we're just going to have a chat. I want to talk to you about something that I will just encourage you to consider. Okay, so I'm going to do kind of like a rapid fire here because I don't want to take up too much of your time. Price point wise, we're going to talk about Walmart. Okay, surprisingly, Walmart, and I raved about this in my other videos, pen and gear. Get this, if you like pocket notebooks, like I have in the past, field notes, surprisingly to me, they're not fountain pen friendly. They're not even gel ink friendly most of the time. But this 3-pack will value at, $12, $14, which is fine. Again, value is subjective. But for me, because I write a lot, and I just found that there were other alternatives, such as this pen and gear spiral notebook that is also fountain pen friendly, which I've showed before. I've shown this in the past, but this paper is very crinkly. It's nice. It holds up very well. Am I going to use this, as a daily journal? No, this is just more like a log. My grocery list, just little scrabbles. So $1, okay? Well, actually, now, surprisingly, the price went up. It's like $1.37. It used to be $1, then it was like $1.07, then it was $1.25. But hey, it's still under $2. I can't complain. This is going to be worth it, in my opinion. Okay, now another great price point that you can find at Walmart that is the gel ink and fountain pen friendly is this. The Pen and Gear personal notebook. Okay, it's lined. I've only seen these in the lined. They don't have dot grid or grid or blank, but fountain pen friendly. And I showed the colors show up beautifully. And if you like to use a traveler's notebook system, you may really enjoy this. Lastly, from Walmart, look for this, the Pen and Gear, okay? The Pen and Gear notebook, this is your dot grid. For me, unfortunately, they have darkened the dot grid. So in the past, a few years ago, it was very faint. And now, if you buy them, you're going to notice that the grid is darker. So if that drives you nuts, you may not like it. But I will say, for me, with work projects and just everyday sketches, for $2, you can't beat this, okay? You really can't. So I like this. Look for that at Walmart. Other budget-friendly options. Now, this is harder to come by because Muji, okay? Muji is not available in all cities. And their website, unfortunately, they do not offer a lot of their stationery goods for whatever reason. And Muji, their price point is very good. Paper quality is good, again, for those gel inks and fountain pens. I guess I don't have to preface gel ink and fountain pen because that's what this whole video is based off of. So Muji notebooks, all right? And they come in different sizes. Now, if I had to pick my top 3 notebooks that, someone was like, you have to pick top 3, and it's not Moleskine. Surprisingly, Moleskine is not my top 3, okay? And that's, I think, where people get confused. I know on my videos and I know on social media or like my Instagram, I do show my Moleskine Expanded a lot. So I could see why it is assumed that this is my favorite notebook, but this is not my ultimate favorite, surprisingly. This is the one I use the most. Yes, this is the one I use the most, but it's not my favorite. And the perfect example I could give is like someone, you may have a favorite watch, okay? You may have a favorite handbag. You may have a favorite pair of dress shoes or, you know, your favorite cologne or perfume. But because it's your favorite doesn't mean you use it a lot, because maybe that's why it's your favorite and it's so precious to you, you want to preserve or reserve it. So the Moleskine, to me, it is, I would say, my favorite everyday use. Okay, we all have those pair of shoes that, you know we can throw on and they're going to be comfortable and they can get us from point A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay, we can go to the farmer's market, we can go to our friend's house, we can go hike up in the woods. We know. But then there are other pair of shoes that you're like, okay, I'm going to only wear this at work because it's professional, it's classy. That's kind of what the Moleskine is for me. It's like the pair of shoes that I can just wear all the time. I can walk the furthest. They're very comfortable. And it's reliable. I know what to expect. The Moleskine is that. This is like the comfortable pair of jeans that I can like cross my legs when I sit down. I can get dressed and go to the store. It's not going to be my favorite though, okay? Those jeans are not my favorite, but they're ones that are reliable. And that's what the Moleskine these notebooks are for me. They're reliable. They get the job done. They perform the best with my creativity, and I get so much done with these Moleskines. So my favorite, again, going back to my top 3, the Clairefontaine. I don't think I've talked about this before. Maybe some of my old subscribers from older videos may remember, but yes, I love the Clairefontaine Essentials Notebook. I've had this for years. I think even back in 2018 or 17, but I was just holding in. I have 2 of these, but I just been holding out because they're not always available. Not every retailer sells these, and I'm afraid that, like, you know, now that I'm sharing it, I'm afraid that they're going to go out of stock because not a lot of people know about these. So I feel like the few places that do sell them may not always have them available if they become too popular because they're not widely accessible. Does that make sense? So I love the Clairefontaine Essentials Notebook. I think it comes in lined, and this is dark gray, but I love the cream color. I love the rounded corners, the elastic, and it does have like a little pocket here on the back. Let me see. Like it has like this cute little slip pocket. So this is and it has like the front pocket. So this is my favorite, my top favorite. And then I would say like my ultimate favorite. Okay, if someone was like, you have to pick one favorite, Michelle, what would it be? This is the one I recommend to all of you. The ones that message me on Instagram, the ones that are disappointed in Moleskine and wonder, why do you use those? The paper is horrible. This is the one I actually would recommend, okay, that you can actually just probably click out of this video. This is the one for my preference and my style, if you're just like me, the Midori. The Midori A5 Everyday Notebook. Let me find the wrapper so you could see it. It looks like, where is it? Oh, right here. I've stocked up on these. Check Amazon or your local retailer because sometimes these go on sale because, again, not everyone uses these. And I got a steal deal on these, which my Instagram followers, you guys know, I got these for like under $20. And these retail for like $40. But it has a day a page, like 365 pages. You can get the lined, the dot grid, or the blank. Of course, I got the blank. How many pages? Oh, 368. Okay, 368. But it's fountain pen friendly. Again, I guess like all these. And it has the cream colored pages. And no, it does not come with these rounded corners, but I got a corner puncher and I made it round and I cut this and slimmed it down a little bit so it's like the Moleskine, okay? But it comes in a true A5 size. So if anything, I would say, to summarize this video, just get the A5, the Midori A5, one day, one page. Now they do have half the amount. So if maybe you don't write as much as I do, they do have like the 192 pages. So you have that option as well. Now there are different sizes. If that's too big for you, don't worry. They have B6 Slim. They have A6 size as well, which is right here. Maybe some of you enjoy using spiral notebooks because, you know, then you can like twist it back and write on one side. This is another favorite. This is like an A5 Slim, but you know, all their paper with Midori is beautiful. So I would recommend the Midori brand, if anything. And then my third favorite, which I don't think they make this anymore, so I'm holding on to these. I could be wrong, but from what I heard in the journal universe world, Cosmo. Cosmo Notes or Cosmo Air. Maybe they are making it, but the paper is different. But I found this from a fountain pen friend, and she highly recommended this notebook to me years ago when she saw I was using the Moleskine, and she was like, "Girl, you need to try Cosmo because of the similar reasoning." Wait, why? Are these corners? Oh yeah, okay. So the rounded corners and then the blank page, because she knows I love a blank page. It doesn't have the elastic closure, but for fountain pen, it's beautiful. Like the colors, I'm trying to see if I have one that, where's the one that I used? Okay, right here. Yeah, the fountain pens, the ink is beautiful on here. It's just like a nice creamy color. Very comparable to the Midori. So if again, the Midori is too thick for you, I don't know if they still make this, the Cosmo. So these are my top 3 favorite that I would highly recommend to anyone. The Cosmo, the Midori, definitely the Midori, and then the Clairefontaine, okay? Now there are some definite honorable mentions that I'll quickly go through. Stalogy, okay? The Stalogy notebook. This is the A5 size. They have A6. I cut mine down to be more of a slim size or traveler's notebook size. So Stalogy notebooks, they have 365 pages. They're really good. And then this is the Galen Leather Everyday Notebook. They use a Tomoe River paper, which is really good as well if you like thinner paper, but holds really well with the ink. And then 7 C's, okay? The 7 C's, I don't know. Again, I feel like a lot of these notebooks that I love, they're not always in production. And maybe that's why I don't share them as often because, you know, I don't use them all the time because I'm afraid that if I use it up, I won't have anything else to use anymore if I fall in love with it. So the 7 C's, they seem to always be out of stock when I need them. So I stocked up on these, but they have their standard, and it has 480 pages. You can get, again, the line, the dot, or the blank. I have the blank. But the Crossfield, this is the one that is not always available, and I don't know if they still make it, but another one of my fountain pen friends, he recommended the Crossfield instead of, again, the Moleskine. So shout out to him. But, you know, it has like the rounded edges. The only thing is, again, I don't know if they make it, but it's called Crossfield because if you look closely, the grid, they're like little crosses. So they look like dots, but then it could also be a grid. So I really like this because it has 480 pages. It looks beautiful with, you know, like watercolor. It holds up very well. And, you know, I would say, is it just as thick as a Moleskine? Yeah, but it has, you know, 80 more pages. So, but again, I'm holding this and preserving it because from what I was told, that the paper has changed or they're no longer in production and whatever batch they have left is gone. So now, you know, I'm scared to use this. I don't want to use this for my random, you know, lists. If like, I feel like this is too precious. Again, it's that pair of shoes where I'm just like, oh no, I'm scared to use it. What if they don't make it anymore? What if it goes out of stock? So other honorable mentions, the Peter Popper Press. If you get this at Barnes & Noble, they have beautiful other designs on their website as well. This is more for those that like a beautiful aesthetic, you know, cover, hardcover. I just wish that most of them would have like an elastic closure, but that's just, again, my personal preference. But yeah, this is a really good brand that I recommend as well. And then on Etsy, there is this seller called Danica 58 that I really enjoy, but again, their notebooks always seem to be out of stock, so I'm just holding on to these. But this Danica paper, Danica 58, the seller, their paper is comparable to the Cosmo paper that I just showed you. That's my top 3, and they offered different sizes. So you can get A5, you can get the thick version, which is what I have, which is comparable, you know, to the thickness of the Moleskine. They have the A5, you know, where it's just, I think, like only 200 pages. And then they offer like A5 Slim, traveler's notebook size, B6 Slim. So on Etsy, Danica 58. Definitely recommend their paper as well. If you have a Hobby Lobby, this brand, the Master's Touch, they have these little bullet journals. These are really good. These are really good and budget friendly. So look for these. The cover is not ideal, but you know, you can cover it with stickers, or if these just stay at home, then like who cares? And Hobby Lobby always has coupons for like 30 or 40% off. So I'm pretty sure I got this for 40% off. So you can't really beat that. And then, what is this? Oh yeah, this is the Midori. The Leuchtturm brand. I think everyone kind of pits this up with the Moleskine as the competitor. The Leuchtturm is really good. Yes, I would say it is, you know, better with your darker inks and fountain pens, and they are widely accessible. So yes, this is a great alternative. Price point wise, again, if you go through these journals quickly, or if you write a lot, or maybe you're afraid to mess up your pages too, okay? Because that's another thing that people have to consider, is that there is this like paralysis analysis, right? Where like sometimes you're just too afraid to start, or you don't know where to start because you're like overthinking, or you don't want to mess up, or you don't want to make a mistake, you don't want it to look ugly. So this is a good alternative. If you have a Michaels in your area, the craft store, look for their the Artist Loft notebook. Okay, has 180 pages, and if you get they have lined and they have dot grid. The dot grid is very faint, so if you like to draw and sketch but you don't want the distraction of the paper design, you may want to consider this. They have other colors. This is the taupe. They also have black and I can't remember, but I think this retails for like $7 or $8. And again, Michaels always has coupons. So if you're like me and you're like afraid to mess up a beautiful notebook because you see it as like an investment, then get these, okay? So I think that pretty much wraps it up, you guys. Let me know if you made it to the very end, or let me know, like, maybe did I overlook a notebook, or is there one that you highly recommend for people that are coming across this video? Put it in the comments. Did I mention too that this video was inspired by not only my regular viewers that realize that, you know, I always happen to have the Moleskine in my videos, but also there's this gentleman, his channel I think it was down the breather hole. I'll link it in my description, but I saw his video show up in my feed, and he shared his like 5 favorite notebooks that are better than a Moleskine, which I, you know, encourage you to check out as well. So I am going to definitely give him credit for the inspiration to do this video, because I've been meaning to do this video for a lot of my viewers. And you guys always, you know, kind of, I don't want to say you give me flack, but you know, a lot of you are like, Michelle, you have all these notebooks, you know that there's better notebooks out there. Why do you still use a Moleskine? And, you know, this is where I'm going to end the video and say that number one, I don't pay full retail price for these notebooks, okay? The Moleskine notebooks, I have a few in my collection, and I have been able to get them for a steal deal. $15, $16, $17 for the expanded notebook. And again, let me know if you found anything better, but I like the specifications of what this notebook has to offer. The cream pages, the rounded corners, the elastic closure, the soft cover, and you know, like this black leatherette feel to it. So being that I don't use fountain pens all the time, this is not necessarily a deal breaker for me. And I do want to say that in this day and age, a lot of people aren't using fountain pens. And that was me back in 2017, 2018. I did not use fountain pens. So I used what I enjoyed, which was ballpoint pens and rollerball pens, and I ran with it. I went with the flow. I tuned out the noise, the distractions. And it wasn't until I started sharing more of my my Moleskine notebooks that people were like, why are you using that? You know, like, that notebook is horrible, which I can understand. I can understand where they're coming from, especially if you are coming from the world of beautiful inks and fountain pens. Now I see what they mean by it. However, if you're like me and you're just, you know, all you use is a ballpoint click pen, nothing fancy, you might find value in the qualities that this Moleskine has to offer if you're like me, okay? You need a lot of pages because your creativity overflows. You don't like to switch in and out of notebooks or systems. You want to stick to just one notebook for the whole year. Okay. Maybe you want a blank page because you want it to be versatile. Maybe you want to bullet journal and you want certain chunks and sections, but you don't want to carry like 3 different separate notebooks, right? There's different personal reasons why people gravitate and pick certain notebooks. And these were mine and are still mine. Now, I will be honest and say that if I do not find these on sale, no, I'm not paying the current value, retail value of $37 because I see that there are better options, okay? Especially the Midori. Let me go back to, where'd it go? Especially the Midori, okay? This retails for, again, it differs, but I do feel like this is the best option, okay? Even if it retails for a lot more, the quality is here. The quality is here. It lays flat. The binding is beautiful. The color is beautiful. The quality in itself of the pages hold up well with different mediums. So the Midori notebook for the win. However, I don't find these Midori notebooks, on sale regularly. And because there is that paralysis analysis, right? Because I know this is more precious, at least to me, than this, I reserve this for special spreads. I'm not going to just doodle and sketch randomness because I know that these pages are more precious than these pages. But these pages are what holds the most. Does that make sense? Okay, that just kind of makes sense. It's kind of like, it reminds me of like Starbucks. Okay, is Starbucks the best coffee? No, but because it's easily accessible and it's reliable and it gets the job done, you may find yourself just kind of going there on your way to work because it's on the way. Just like, I do want to share a story with you, okay, before I end this video. Use what works best for you, okay? Regardless of who's using what. Don't use Moleskine because I'm using Moleskine, okay? Maybe some of you don't like using, Tomoe River paper. That was me. I try to force myself to love the Tomoe River paper because everyone was like, you need to use this. It's better. Well, I could see how, but it's just not my preference. It's not my style. And you've seen all these notebooks I just shared with you. Are they anywhere near as full as these? No, they're not. So you have to use what's comfortable with you. And I think the more you just kind of tune out of social media, the more you just create for yourself and not for the likes or for popularity, then you'll find your rhythm and flow, okay? And you guys know, obviously, clearly, the Moleskine is not popular, okay? Everyone in the journaling community, I don't want to say they hate Moleskine, but they know that there are better options out there. But here I am, the odd one out. Like, I still like to use what works for my brain, okay, for my creative flow. The energy just comes out with these notebooks for whatever reason. And okay, so my story is, so I had this coworker, right? She went on a diet to lose weight. She lost 30 pounds. Okay, she tried everything. She tried like Weight Watchers and keto and whatever those diets are. She lost 30 pounds in like a matter of, I think, like 3 or 4 months. And, we would always ask her like, oh, what's your secret? What's your tip? She didn't want to share. And rightfully so, that's her business, but she was embarrassed. But one day she told me what her secret was to losing that weight. And it was, she ate at Chipotle every day because Chipotle was on the way to our work. And she got like the rice bowl and she just cut it in half. And that was her lunch and dinner. She would switch it up, like maybe she would put like chicken in one day or steak the other day. But because that portion was right for her and because it took the stress out of dealing with what to cook or maybe overthinking, I don't know what it was, but she said she just ate Chipotle almost every day, except for the weekends, every day for the work week. She just cut her portion. She had that for lunch. She saved it. She went home. She ate that for dinner. She lost 30 pounds. She didn't snack. She didn't have any sugar because she was full from that. But she didn't want to share because she was embarrassed. She didn't want to get the backlash of people saying like, oh my gosh, you ate Chipotle. That's so bad for you. That's fast food. It has too much sodium, whatever. But that's kind of like journaling too. Like we all get different results using different things. And just because one thing works for us doesn't mean it's going to work for you. And just because one thing works for you doesn't mean it's going to work with everyone. Now, I will say in terms of quality, again, I don't want to be like, repeating myself, but as terms of quality, yes, paper quality is not ideal, okay? Paper quality is not ideal for fountain pen inks and dark gel inks, but quality is fine if you are using what works in the simpler forms, like a ballpoint, a rollerball pen, and certain gel inks, okay? Certain gel inks like this Dollar Tree ink. So again, in this day and age, don't be afraid to use what you like just because maybe the majority are going to bash you for it. I still get bashed for using the Moleskine, okay? And people see, hey, you're using a fountain pen. Why would you still use a Moleskine? Well, because I don't always use a fountain pen to art journal. A lot of my art journal spreads, let me ask you too, for my fountain pen friends, do you guys art journal with your fountain pen? I don't think so. Like, I don't see a lot of these popular bullet journalers using fountain pens. They're using like micron, like fine rollerball pens, fine ballpoint pen. I have not seen a bullet journaler using a fountain pen. I have not seen an art journaler using a fountain pen. Okay, I haven't seen I haven't seen a lot of creative people using a fountain pen. Now they could be out there, but I think where I'm getting at is like, if you are a creative and you want to just unleash, sometimes using the thing that is less intimidating will get you the best results and get you the furthest. Okay, so I'll leave that at that, you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know maybe what notebook has worked for you, what notebook maybe surprised you that you didn't think that you were going to love, or that you do love, or maybe that you loved at one point but no longer love. And if you don't like Moleskine, that's fine. I totally understand. But you know, I do also know that sometimes what we are familiar with, we can get through easier, and we find ourselves gravitating and enjoying the hobby and the process more because it makes us feel comfortable. Sometimes when you're uncomfortable, you remain stuck. Okay. Again, more analogies, but like if you're uncomfortable in a setting, in an environment, if you are uncomfortable in your, like your own skin or in a particular outfit, you're going to limit yourself. You don't feel comfortable around certain people, so you're not going to open up. You're not going to share stories. But if you're comfortable, you share more, you do more, right? So that's kind of like the comparison. Use what's comfortable for you, not what anyone's video is saying. You can take their suggestions and their recommendations, but just because one thing is more popular than the other doesn't mean you're going to use it more or get better results. Hence all these other notebooks I've shown you. Okay, so thank you guys. Bye.